Hey guys, what's going on? So for this video I have a list of my top 5 favorite gore grind albums. Now this is a subgenre that I've been kind of exploring more lately, and there's a lot of good shit in it. I know it gets a lot of flack for being really over the top and cheesy, or really fucked up, but I think it's a really great form of extreme metal slash... And there's not really that much punk in it. There's a little bit, but I'd say gore grinding is one of the forms of grindcore that's closer to metal. But yeah, I think it's a cool genre. Not for everybody, but I think it's really cool. Back when we're playing Terrorizer's World Downfall, so yeah. So anyways, number 5, we have Satan's Revenge on Mankind with Gore Blast. Now this is a really cool band. I believe they're from Germany. They play a really groovy style of gore grind. Really catchy riffs, just really fun. It can get a little, faster and blast beatier at times, but for the most part, it's really like groovy and slow. The riffs are just really catchy, a little bit punky at times, but it doesn't it doesn't really go into like mincecore territory or anything like that. So the band doesn't take themselves very seriously if you read the song titles. I mean, they're more than just gore titles. Some of them are like joke song titles. But yeah, the vocals are really fucking nasty on here, really gross sounding. This album sounds like really just disgusting, but it's very fun. If you want something catchy to listen to that's also brutal as fuck without listening to like slam, like something more grindy, I guess, but still catchy, then this is a really fun album to listen to. So yeah, number 5 is Satan's Revenge on Mankind with Gore Blast. At number 4, we have Viscera Infest with, let me read this correctly, Varicose Carcinoma, I believe is how you pronounce it. Now this is one of the most pummeling albums in this genre that you'll find. Production-wise, I think it's really fucking awesome sounding. It's really like juicy sounding production. It doesn't sound super raw. Like, it is raw, but it's a different kind of raw. It's a very, I guess you could say, is fairly digital sounding. My only problem with the mix on the album is the vocals are super low in the mix. But other than that, though, this is a really pummeling album. The best part by far of this album is the drums. It's really noisy, but very blast beaty and fast. Insane fucking crazy disturbing album cover of like a dude after he fucking shot himself, and it doesn't even look real. Like, from a distance it looks like a cartoon. That's how fucking nasty this album cover is. So it is a fucked up album cover. But yeah, really great songs. It's more of an album where you listen to the album as a whole as opposed to individual songs. Like, a lot of the stuff on the genre is like, with this album especially, because it's that really blast beaty, fast style of grindcore. But yeah, some of the best drumming you'll hear in this genre, definitely. I believe his band's from Japan. But yeah, just a really fun band. Really just over the top fast. Little elements of like death metal in there here and there, but for the most part it's just straight fucking crazy blast beats. So yeah, number 4 is Viscera Infest with Varicose Carcinoma. Carcinoma, sorry if I mispronounced that. At number 3, we have the album that pretty much started the genre. So this is Carcass with Recapitulation. This is the only album on this list I actually own a physical copy of it. Some of these albums I definitely want to get, especially number 1 and 2 on this list. But this is a classic. Even if you're not in the gore grind, you'll probably like this. Although it is kind of a hard album for people to get into because of the production, which is understandable because this album has like some of the shittiest production you'll ever hear. Just really blown out low end. Very dull sounding and not very wet sounding besides the vocals in some parts, but it sounds disgusting and it sounds fucked up. I mean, the album cover is insane. Hopefully this video doesn't get taken down because of it, but we're not taken down, but I don't know what the fuck YouTube will do. There's some great tracks on here though. The best songs by far are Regurgitation of Giblets and Genital Grinder, Pungent Excruciation, Oxidized Razor Masticator. This is one song I really like on here. I want to say it's Feast on Dismembered Carnage. There's another one of my favorites. It's a really catchy one. But yeah, this is like the blueprint for the genre almost. And a lot of bands like to copy this, although I prefer gore grind bands that don't copy this because I just like originality a little more. But for the most part, I don't really think any of the bands on this list are Carcass clones. I would say they're all influenced by this era Carcass, but This is a really important album in the genre, and it's a great fucking album. So yeah, number 3 is Carcass with Recapitulation. Coming in at number 2, we have probably one of the most disgusting album covers you'll see. This is Disgorge Mexico with Forensic. Obviously Disgorge, but I'm saying Disgorge Mexico because there's also the Disgorge US, who I'm actually probably a bigger fan of. They're one of my favorite bands in general. But Disgorge Mexico is still great, but I don't get why people compare them because they have very different styles. This is just straightforward, nasty gore grind with hints of brutal death metal, but for the most part, I'd say you could safely say this is a gore grind album. This production is probably equally as bad as Recapitulation, but it's just a little bit punchier sounding. It sounds more like they were doing a shitty production on purpose as opposed to like an accident like on Recapitulation. But the production on here just sounds fucked up. The album cover is like probably the most disgusting album cover I could think of. It's literally a fucking dead baby hanging out of the womb, which is pretty nuts. Yeah, it's just insane. What's weird is there's actually there's actually a guest vocal on here from Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse, which is bizarre, but hey, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool that they got somebody that big on this album. But yeah, this album is infamous for the album cover and the production. But there's some really cool songs on here though, like Skid, or oh my god, what's it called? I think it's Flux Crevice Warts. Flux Crevice Warts, I think that's what it's called. That's another really great one. Yeah, this is a disgusting album cover and definitely one of the landmark albums of the genre. So yeah, number 2 is Disgorge with Forensic. Alright, so coming in at number 1, we have Last Days of Humanity with Hymns of Indigestible Separation, at least how you pronounce the last word. This album is fucking one of the most angry sounding gore grind albums you'll ever hear. Mostly because of A, the drums, and B, the vocals. The drum tone on this album, this might sound weird, but it's very similar to Cryptopsy's None So Vile. It's not, the drumming isn't as technical as on that album, but just the tone of the drums and the timbre of how they're played sounds very similar to Flo Monier's drums, which I think is really interesting. But the drumming on this album is just over the top, really fast, but can also be groovy at times. So there's elements of like, you know, the fast, super blast beaty war grind, but there's also some slower moments on this album. The vocals are super fucking like shouty, but they are pitch shifted. They sound wet and shouty and really aggressive and just in your face and over the top. The album cover is like, again, vomit inducing, just like pretty much all the album covers on this list are. Besides maybe number 5, that one's not that bad, but the rest of the albums are pretty fucking just like morally terrible album covers. Yeah, there's a lot of really fucked up samples on this album as well. Yeah, this album takes shit really far, so it's not for everybody, but if you like really extreme, fucked up, snuffy sounding shit, then you will really like this album. Yeah, just fantastic gore grind. This is definitely my favorite album of the genre. Last Days of Humanity has a really cool discography overall. All their albums are pretty cool. Their later stuff is more bordering on like gore noise, so that's more of like a, I don't know, I feel like their later albums are more of just an album that you put on just to like kind of listen to for a few seconds and laugh at. Not that it's like funny in a like bad way, but it's just so like ridiculously noisy that it's like kind of a novelty album. But this album isn't quite that. It's not quite as death metal-y as their debut album, but it's still pretty noisy. But the song structure is pretty good though. There's still like good songs on here, and all the songs stand out pretty well. My favorite track on here is definitely Intoxicated though. That's a fantastic song. So yeah, number 1 is Last Days of Humanity with Hymns of Indigestible Separation. But yeah, that's it for this list though. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, these are my top 5 favorite gore grind albums. Like I said, been really exploring the genre a little more lately. There's other bands I've listened to, obviously, that aren't on this list. A few honorable mentions would probably be Lymphatic Phlegm. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Dead Infection. I know there's more. Haggis, although they're technically kind of a mixture of mincecore and gore grind. but they're still really cool as well. But yeah, that's it for this list though. Maybe you guys can recommend me some more bands in the genre that you guys enjoyed. I think I just said that twice in a row. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.